Alright, another trade recap. Uh, yeah, I messed up today. I need to readjust it back to the frequency because this week overall was like pretty shitty. I wouldn't particularly say regarding the markets overall, but just how I felt, etc., etc. But hey, well, fairly enough, it wasn't actually that shitty. Okay, I have to correct myself. My bad. Because there were also actually many things I genuinely learned and could add to the list. So this week was more like collecting a lot of data points and yeah, genuinely getting better. But today, when I woke up, 6:30 to 30, dude, I was so tired. I was about to go back to sleep, and I think I was still a bit affected by yesterday. That I lost like a lot, and today I lost this amount. I allowed myself. Well, I would have wanted to lose less than that, but this was like the maximum because I decreased the lot size, by a decent amount, so I don't get fast to draw down and blow the account because I really don't want to buy another account and be like generally, play the casino because then I have like literally no more money to pay other stuff for the next month, fixed cost and that. So let's get to your USD. What did I see here? I was actually bullish. I hoped that it's going to get into this 1 hour farewell gap, but then retrace down here and then sweep this lows because we had here a lower low, and I was naively going to believe, oh, we will also get here a higher low, and not only that, we also have here on the 4 hour and breaker block, and it taps here very well. But the thing is, it doesn't determine how fast, how far it's going to distribute, right? So actually, having this clearance again makes perfectly sense because here order block was going up, right? The thing I wanted was actually it was going so much far to the upside. It was getting to this 4 hour order block and 1 hour order block, Ferrello gap, I mean, that it's actually perfect setup. So this got validated. Perhaps it doesn't get validated again, or if then perhaps another visit right there. So scaling down to the 5 minutes, we saw it got up here in this 1 hour favela gap, which I marked out, and then watching this, swept this high, going short from here, and targeting one of these lows. Because also it looks like a bit of yeah, it looks like AMD. It pretty much looks like AMD. So either this low, or what I often do, one of these little lows, just to stay safe. Because by these few pips, it doesn't make like a big difference. But yeah, perhaps it will still go up. But actually, I didn't see this 4 hour farewell gap, and this would have made perfectly sense. But yeah, I was kind of rooting for this bullish move, which did not, play out. So yeah, I mean, we also see it on USD CHF. I mean, to a certain point, it was even more obvious, but I just decided to ignore it for some reason because retardation. Anyways, so we have here also similar thing going on. Now it's been bullish so far, a bit choppy, but overall bullish so far. But then we were kind of getting a resistance right there. On the 1 hour, it's very clear. But what do we also get? Higher lows. And you know what this means, flag pattern. And often when it's like that, then it gets closer and closer until it breaks out. And now it's going down because I strongly believe it is because of the London session fake out. But also here, similar thing we saw was pushing aggressively to the downside, right? Sweeping this swing low actually. So we have on the 50 minutes confirmation, on the 5 minutes also the entry model because this low also has been swept on the 5 minutes, and then going long from here, and this would have been actually in fast trade targeting the swing high, adjusting the stop loss, Yeah, I did this for Relic, which already got validated, and boom, easy, easy. Actually, this could also take the highest high from the rejected highs right there in the resistance level. But yeah, I kind of had to take the hard way today because I was a bit struggling to find the bias. I was a bit not that flexible, but I feel like it's getting slightly better with everything. Because again, I this week I generally learned many things. Like also the stuff with the breaker block, which yesterday was perfectly fitting into the Nasdaq. And by the way, I only opened the trade because I wanted to see slippage and spread and stuff like that. But seems to be fine, so I just closed it, and you can see I lost $15. So that's about it. I will survive it. But yeah, I think you kind of get the assignment um, overall. So even if I lost today again and I have like pretty much left room of error for next week, because from the drawdown I can only afford like 35%. There's like 35% or so or 40% left. I have actually to focus, of course. Yeah, sure. But no, actually, well, I think it's 40%. I think it's 40%. 40 or 37% left of the drawdown. But yeah, no, of course, it's a bit unfortunate, we can say. Um, but the thing is, when it hits like oh, this oh moment that it gets better. Also, overall. Now, to be fair, today I would have been sustainable to take the day off because yesterday I was still I think I'm still kind of super salty from yesterday that I was working at Domino's, so it just pissed me off. Okay, because I hate that I just hate working at Domino's. But fortunately it's the last week, trying to recover this weekend, and then looking forward. Um, because honestly, I was like literally I think sitting yesterday where I was starting to realize it, more setups as soon as I started to learn the other things. I was like literally sitting in my chair, like breathing in because like it felt like a breath of fresh air because it makes things so much more easier because it was like genuinely thinking about like believing okay I'm kind of losing it, perhaps I just suck. But then which kind of moved me towards to learn these things, to refresh my knowledge, to learn new things like break. I actually thought I'm never going to use breaker blocks. Same with the Fibonacci. Um, I've never thought that. Okay, Fibonacci, I'm not going to use it as a sole confirmation, more sort of confluence, but it's generally very refreshing if you ask me. Now, technically, let's say how far this plays out. This retracement, yeah, I can tell. I can tell you. But yeah, today, of course, made a loss. But fortunately, I'm learning more. I'm seeing more things. And now I just need to, get some fresh air to refresh my head because I think it's been accumulating a lot of negativity the past months and I kind of have to get rid of it. Unfortunately, so last week at Domino's and then fuck all of this and then focusing on this and making the right things. Because I start to read the right things, so it's about to make the right decisions. So with that being said, cheers.